Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DSP Reacts Welcome back to DSP Reacts to From Vindictive to Manipulative, Keemstar story, Daniel Keem from June the King. First of all, before we even resume, because this is part 4 of what I'm assuming is going to be a 5 or 6 part series, I want to give a shout out to June because this has been great. Like he's speaking very well, very eloquent speak to cover this. As a documentarian, seems like he's done a lot of good research. It seems well put together. At no point watching this have I been confused. I'm keeping everything in the sequence of events going. I'm understanding it all. I feel like he's done a really great job with this. And I want to say to June, thank you for giving me permission to react to your video. I'm really enjoying this. Based off of this, at least from the level of feedback we seem to be getting, I think people will want to see me react to more stuff from June the King in the future. And I strongly recommend, if you want to see this style of documentary, to check out his channel, if you can, okay? All right, now, second half, essentially. I swapped my hat because I was so sweaty. It's, like, ridiculously hot in my office today, but the sun's about to go down, which means it's going to get nicer. I get to open the window. Let's jump back in. Just to recap where we are. We went through Keem's early days, found out his origins of making YouTube content as a troll. Then we found out about him trying to bridge over into something different when he made money, of all things, selling a Minecraft knockoff game. That's literally where he made his money to finance his things on YouTube. He didn't actually get successful on YouTube like most people do. He made money selling a fucking stupid game and then used that to finance other projects. It's insane, okay? Then he started his Drama Alert channel. And that's basically what the last hour's been, already embroiled in multiple dramas, including the Basherverse controversy, and then this poor guy who played RuneScape, who he got the story wrong and misreported that he was a pedophile, okay? So, as if that's not enough, we're literally still got an hour left, all right? So, holy crap, I can't imagine what else we're going to see, except I do know about some of these things coming up, just from, again, being a YouTuber myself. You get wind of some of the other shit going on YouTube. And I've known about some of these over the years. People have asked me about them over the years. I don't really have any perspective on it, so I'm not going to comment. But today I'm going to get perspective. All right? So, if anything, here's what I will say so far. Keem is determined. He's a determined individual. Through thick and thin, when everyone kept banning him or whatever, he never gave up. He kept making content, and he kept trying to succeed. He's good at being charismatic with his audience. Some would say that's manipulative, but obviously he's successful for that. And he made a good business decision when he realized that all the stuff he used to do, the trolling, the Call of Duty stuff, wasn't working out, switching over to the drama content, right? That was honestly a good move, in my opinion. He recognized the trends on YouTube at the time. He saw what was doing well for him, and he said, I'm going to focus on that. That's smart. Like I said, if I'd stayed, being just a Street Fighter guy, I would have faded into obscurity, but because I'm a variety guy, I stuck around. So, good on him on working with what was, focusing on what was working and not just sticking to his old guns. But I also think at the same time, we're looking at the things he's doing. Manufacturing news. Literally orchestrating stories that don't exist because he created them. Misreporting. Hurting people, right? Overly reporting, beating the dead horse when he already knew the truth behind the situation and just didn't bother to report it right away because he wanted to get personal gain out of stories. Pretty messed up stuff. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and be like, yeah. So let's continue. And what I'm curious about this is, okay? What I'm curious about this is, I'm wondering if there will be anyone by the end of this, all right, who basically will be like, hey, I wonder, why do you still watch this guy? Because I'd like to genuinely hear, if there's actually people who are genuine fans, all right, of Keemstar, I would actually like to hear by the end of this, react, why? Like, why are you still here? Why do you still watch him? Why do you support him? Because I obviously, if there was one thing in his history, two things in his history, you can let it go. So, oh, he's changed or whatever. But what we're seeing here is essentially a running pattern, right, of this kind of behavior that's getting worse and worse. And it's like, why would you continue to support and follow this guy? So we're going to find out. All right, we're going to continue on. And I'd like to actually get someone's honest opinion by the end. If there's anyone here who is a genuine fan of Keemstar, I'd like to get your opinion by the end. All right. Cooper, just shut up right now. He's trying to start drama in the chat about bull. No one cares. Oh, there's trolls on Twitter. Look at. Who gives a fuck? My audience, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now continue. Part 4. Here we go.
And that is the most effective and memorable expose on Keemstar.
Here we go.
And that's saying much, considering the existence of all these exposés on him already. So about halfway through the year, on May 5th, 2016, Idubbbz dropped Content Cop Keemstar. What made this video vastly different from the rest is that where most exposés on Keemstar focus on specific events rather than analyzing Keemstar's character, like easy-to-denounce events such as the Alex situation or his misinformation on Sir Tony Ray, Idubbbz instead analyzed Keemstar on a day-to-day basis, and not truly on its low points, as he showcased what he deemed to be Keemstar's consistent hypocrisy and manipulativeness through several points throughout the video, with examples taken through his Twitter rants and Drama Alert. An example is how outwardly it may seem that Drama Alert is meant to be a non-biased news show, but in reality, the way Keemstar typically reports stories is based on the relationship with the other person. This, coupled with his constant instigation on Twitter to have creators appear on his show or continue to receive his mass spreading of rumors, painted Keemstar as an even more unfavorable person.
There are a lot of reasons to call Keemstar a hypocrite. I'm going to focus on one reason, the reason that I find most compelling.
My objective isn't go destroy their life on Drama Alert. I don't use my platform that way. You know how they've been contacting me saying that you've been dating some like 14-year-old French girl and shit? Just please swing at me. If you're gonna swing at me, dude. Let me know, because I got a fucking files on top of files to swing back at. I don't use my platform that way. I don't use my platform that way. I don't use my platform that way. Because I got a fucking files on top of files to swing back at.
Well, that was extremely blatant. You said you don't use your platform that way, but then you threatened to use your platform that way.
That's right.
But Idubbbz, the Keemstar Twitter account and Drama Alert are two separate entities.
I try to keep my show fair and balanced, but on Twitter, I'm gonna give my opinion.
I heard you're a pedophile. 14-year-old French girl? Pedophile. I have the taste of pedophile come in my mouth. I'm on the hunt. Thinking about it logically. You want big YouTubers to come onto your program after you harass them on Twitter, so how are you going to get them to come on your program? Oh, I know. You suggest that if they don't come on your program, they're not innocent.
The situation turns out where a big YouTuber comes on because he's innocent.
Of course, that's just part one. We got to think about the second part logically as well. If you are a small YouTuber, you're going to get a big fucking sub boost from it. And guess what? I won't let you fucking forget it. I will hold that shit over your head. If you fucking blink in my direction, I'm gonna hold that shit over your head.
Along with other examples of Keem's hypocrisy and explaining Keemstar's general aggression, Idubbbz also succeeded in making it entertaining in a way that while it did carry many serious points, it also served to mock Keemstar. Because the first about 4 or so minutes of the video is him tracking down and wrestling a garden gnome. Though that insult wasn't started by Idubbbz, it was solidified by him, which is why enemies of Keem still refer to him as a garden gnome. As for the effect that this video had on Keemstar's channel, if we look at Social Blade for that time, we can see that it did absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
In fact, Keemstar gained more subscribers than usual around this time.
Yep.
But as the video got more and more viewership, its influence started to take effect. The big difference this time, to the many other times the masses have gone against Keemstar, is that now his influential friends started turning on him. How it's usually remembered is that Idubbbz Content Cop was the sole instigator in this situation, but the reality is there were already many exposés attacking Keemstar prior to Idubbbz's video. His video was just the straw that broke the camel's back. The next biggest exposé video on Keemstar came out a little over a month later by Pyrocynical, an ex-friend of Keem's.
Keemstar also does this really cancerous thing where he'll accuse someone of something or make something up, and then when he's called out, he'll say that someone told him or people have been telling him, which basically gives him a line of defense for some bullshit that he just made up 5 minutes ago.
Pyro is threatening.
By the way, I can open my window now. I think the sun just finally passed, which I'm very excited for because this is going to cool the office down. Hold on. I got to do this right away. Holy shit. Yes. Oh my god, finally. Holy, you guys have no concept of... You have no concept of what a difference it makes simply to have my window open in my office. It allows fresh air in here. I gotta, of course, I'll change my webcam. But it allows tons of fresh air in here. Here we go. And now I can cool down. I've been hot almost all day as the sun's been out. Now it's going down. Like, yes. Yes. And no, I don't have central air. I wish I did. It costs too much to install it here in Washington State. So I have air conditioners, but I already took them out. It's fall. I'm like, oh, it's not going to be warm. Oh, yeah, full sun all week. Son of a bitch. Okay, let's continue.
Me with all this shit on Skype because I showed his picture.
Play that again.
You know how they've been contacting me saying that you've been dating some like 14-year-old French girl and shit? Dating some like 14-year-old French girl and shit? 14-year-old French girl and shit? 14-year-old French girl and shit?
Now, if any of you didn't notice that, he just deliberately lowered the age. Now, originally, this alleged girl was 15, and now Keemstar has lowered the age to 14.
Yep.
Probably to make it sound even more impacting and incriminating. And guess what? Later on stream, he lowered the age again to say the girl was now 13. And on top of that, basically insinuating that I was a pedophile.
Pyro was trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl from France, all right? That he was technically like a pedo or weirdo or something, right?
So this man has lied about the age of this girl on 2 separate occasions, and knowing Keemstar, this girl will probably be an embryo by next week.
Weirdly enough, this video is almost exactly the same length of Idubbbz Content Cop. But as for the video itself, beyond the changing of mood towards Keemstar, this video seemed to have been instigated by Keem's constant rumor spreading on Pyrocynical, as seen in the video. Also, Keem tweeted out Pyro's face, which was mostly unknown at the time. Mostly unknown because a few months back, Pyro's face was revealed with consent on a video that got over 1 million views, something that Pyro failed to mention. As for what caused the falling out in their friendship, Keemstar, whenever he hears that someone said something bad about him to any degree, he will usually go on offense. And that's where things usually snowball. A small criticism towards Keem, if it's said behind his back, can turn into a feud that will last several years. The difference now is that Keemstar was being watched very closely, and he couldn't get away with attacking other creators as viciously as he could before. Also, with Pyro's video coming out, Keemstar was finally starting to bleed subscribers, and he was weakened enough for other, less effective Keemstar expose videos to be made, which is typical for any sort of cancellation. Or even those with the smallest interaction with the cancelled person will make their own video to rake in views and add more to the massive amount of noise already being made. But the extreme levels of videos being made against Keemstar became exhausting extremely fast, as it almost became a meme to post a Keemstar expose video, due to the fact that many of these ineffective videos recycled Keemstar's old but popular controversial clips. There were also some that covered lesser known clips, like when Keemstar fought someone, or him shoving ice cream in what he claims to be a child actor's face. A skit done for the Bad Kids cast that Keem actually refused to upload because he later saw how bad it made him look, but Blade uploaded it anyway. As for what many saw as the most distasteful of these lesser known clips was Keemstar, during a beef with content creator Total Biscuit, said that he can't wait to report on his death.
Can't wait to report your death!
Though Keem said it in jest, these words stuck with many, as Total Biscuit several months ago announced that he was suffering from a terminal cancer.
Wow.
Back to the cancellation itself, one of, if not the worst part of this for Keem, was having his close friends betray him. The worst offender being Leafy, who admittedly distanced himself from Keemstar as a business decision.
These past few months, he's honestly just gone fucking insane. Here's a perfect example. A certain YouTuber by the name of Colossal is Crazy made a tweet saying he's gonna make a video about Keemstar. And how does Keemstar respond to this? Get this. By threatening to release his personal info on where he fucking lives. You're obsessed with me. I have a portfolio of all your tweets mentioning me. When your video hits, expect a response. Docs too.
Even
No, wait, how? Again, I have to say this, and maybe you guys know better than me. You know what I mean? How did he get away with this? Doxing, all right, is against terms of service. Of all of these websites that he uses, it's against Twitter, it's against YouTube, it's against the rules. He outright is saying it publicly. It's not even like he contacted the guy with a private message or email and said, I'm going to dox you if you do this. He's doing it publicly. How is he still on the internet? You know? This is just insanity. How does he keep getting away with it? If I threatened someone with that, I'd be off the internet in minutes. I know I would, you know? Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know, man. This is weird to me. Because now we're getting into territory of like, yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if like the next story is, you know, Keemstar ran into Buckingham Palace and punched the Queen in the face. God rest her soul before she passed. You know, and then he took, set the fucking the Louvre on fire, and you know what I mean? Like, how did he? He's literally, it's like another thing that's not allowed, and everything. You know, another thing. Like, what is going on? He literally says to a guy, "I'm going to dox you when you release your video on me, publicly on Twitter," and he's okay. He's fine now. Wow. Well, anyway, the good thing here about this is, you know, people actually said to me today, they said, "Are you afraid that Keemstar will do something for you for doing this react?" First of all, this video is old. It's been out for many, many months. Tons of people have already reacted to this or other things similar to it. The damage of someone reacting to this kind of shit has already been done. It's not like I'm a close friend of his who's going to put out this content or whatever. You know what I mean? And basically, no, I'm not afraid. Number one, what's he going to do to me? Right? He's going to freaking dox me. I've been doxed. Everyone knows my address. Everyone knows my phone number. You know? Everyone knows my emails. You know, everyone knows my shit already. I've been doxed out the ass, left, right, up, down, all around. You know, I don't know what else he could possibly do to me. So, no, I'm not worried. Some people were like, what about false copyright strikes? Well, I'm watching someone else's documentary. This isn't even his content. This is creative content of June the King, who I obtained express permission beforehand that I could react to. And in fact, I told June earlier this week, I said, hey, just so you know, later this week I'm reacting. He was ecstatic. He was like, wow, this is cool. I'm glad that you told me. Thank you for telling me. And I'm curious to actually hear your take on all of this stuff. So, you know, no, I'm personally not afraid at all of anything that he would do, but at the same time, it seems like in 2016, so you're talking 6 years ago, it was like, God forbid you try to cross Keemstar, he'll come slit your throat in your sleep, right? Holy shit. And he'll say he'll do it on Twitter and get away with it, apparently. I mean, I can't believe we just saw that tweet. Okay.
Bashverse, the content creator with the troubled past that Keemstar later helped build up, jumped on the bandwagon of Keemstar hate, which crushed Keem even further.
On to lawyers in Kentucky, and we've asked about taking this to court. They have absolutely no idea about the internet. Every time I've gone to legal representative, they're absolutely blown away that people can make money off of YouTube. That's how out of the loop they are. Me and Clara need help, like so much freaking help right now. And we don't know what else to do or where to turn. Last time we tried to do this, somehow Keemstar found out and then threatened to spread more rumors about random girls.
So he went back to Basher again? This is years later? I'm not Brain Martin. If you talk shit about me behind my back again, I'll have 2 interviews set up of underage girls and chat logs. I've done nothing to you, but since you want to swing at me, get ready to get KO'd. Huh? So he literally went back again to Basher, even after he had teamed up with Basher to essentially, like, slander Basher's ex-girlfriend. Then he went back again, did this again? Again, how do people put up with this? Like, aren't you bored at this point? Right? Like, it's now he's going in circles with the same shit over and over. How are you not bored? I don't know. Again, I would never, in reality, I would never be watching this guy's content. I'm not his target audience for sure. I have enough shit going on in my life. I don't need extra drama. But, oh my God, who could keep watching this? I don't know.
To destroy me. If you wish to help us, please spread this video. I need someone in legal to see this and help us because we have no idea how to go about this or even where to start. We love every single one of you who have stuck by our sides this whole time and never left. So, seriously, thank you.
Listen, Basher, here's the problem. Is that you thought you were a fucking genius manipulator. But someone's better than you. Because I got you to talk about me and to let your audience know about my existence for months.
Mm-hmm.
And once they knew who I was, then I released this video. So many people know about this subject and my point of view of it than ever before. Because I got you to react to me. And I got you to play victim to me. And I got you to pander to your audience.
What are you
now
doing?
that they're paying attention,
you eat the camera?
This whole forget him and ignore him would have worked if you would have done it right away. But now that you haven't, I got your fans' attention. How good of a manipulator.
To give us some more insight on Keem's old controversies, this cancellation, and a bit of context of future things Keem would go through, I interviewed content creator Tommy C. SFTP, who would later host a podcast with Keem.
Considering what Basher had done, that Keem was responsible for rejuicing him, and he rejuiced him because he felt like he was getting kind of a raw deal from his girlfriend. I think he thought maybe, I don't know the details of, whatever had happened when he was a kid. He was 18, 19 years old. Maybe that was a mistake. We'd find on that there would be a pattern, but we didn't know this at the time. And certainly Keem didn't know that at the time. It was a give and take relationship. They both got a lot more famous. It's one of the greatest stories in Drama Alert history between him and Basher. And I can say that he was personally hurt when Basher had, like I said, during the leaf, he said, I need money because, Keem was the most hated person on the internet to go sue Keemstar. And it was probably a scam of some sort. He never did. And he disappeared off the internet until about 2019. Disappeared again and unfortunately passed away recently.
There is no doubt that Keem would now be on edge and even more defensive when it comes to his inner circle after this betrayal. As to show the collaborative efforts against Keemstar, Leafy, Pyrocynical, Grade A Underray, Vex, and Idubbbz videos got views in the multi-millions.
Right.
Keem did make efforts to fix his image by justifying and apologizing for his actions in a 51-minute video uploaded to Drama Alert in June of 2016. First, Keemstar addresses one of the biggest, earliest expose videos by a channel that goes by Chosen.
That's right, encouraging suicide.
This already highlights a massive problem with the video Keem is making. He does address many of his mistakes, like when he docks the content creator's Skype, or other lesser-known rants where Keemstar is trolling and insulting other people while using things like their race to attack them, or how he reported false allegations that hurt Toby Turner's channel severely. Though he fails to address everything. But it's not like these expose videos did a much better job, as most of them were poorly made and lacked much context and research. But with Keemstar's style of video, everything needed to be addressed and put out there. Like in the beginning of Chosen's video, there's a Twitter screenshot of Scare saying Keemstar DM'd him his parents' house address. And with there being much evidence of Keemstar doxing in the past, his intentions were most likely not good here. At least that's what we can go off of because Keem never addressed it. He does address the Alex situation, but more importantly, the clip of saying he hates his fans, which he says was a joke, but it's actually more probable that he doesn't remember the situation. So, I think what I noticed, right, at least Keem confuses timelines a lot. So that became satirical. That initial clip was like what started it all. And what happened was because like Keem makes a bunch of like trolling videos. Then he started doing trolling online through live stream, and then like fans kept like joining in and being assholes and ruining like the whole trolling thing. So because he couldn't troll like fans because they run it right.
Well, I showed that video to him in 20.
Thank you very much, Jade. Thank you because I was watching. I was just trying to figure out what was going on there. Jade, just sent me a $40 tip. Thank you so much, Jade. So I'm so sorry about all the trolls recently. I hope that this helps. Thank you so much, Jade. It does. Thank you so very much. This is this would be the $30 animation for that one. Enjoy. It was only the second time we're seeing this. Oh God, that's. Oh, that is scary as shit. That is pretty scary. That is pretty bad. Thank you. Thank you, Jade, for the $40 tip. So with that, we actually are now at 317. Oops. And so, because we've hit yet another milestone here today, and I appreciate all of everyone's support. Thank you so much, Jade. That is actually the second biggest contribution of the day, actually. So thank you for that. You guys get to pick if you want to see me swap hats again. Now, I just swapped the cowboy hat to this one. Should Phil swap hats again? No, keep the Los Santos cap. Yes, go to the beret. Yes, put on the fake hair hat. Or, yes, the Punisher beanie. There you go. Up to you guys. You vote. Thank you so much, Jade. I appreciate that. All right. So, I guess what's happening is 2016 is the year when Keem is now under attack by everyone, right? Like, everyone is crapping on him. Even his friends, people who thought he was his friends, are coming out and saying, nah, he's a scumbag. He's manipulative. Don't trust him. He's a junk person. And, June the King is doing research in the video trying to get to the bottom of this. And basically saying, he always confuses timelines. People will accuse him of something, but then he'll say it was a different date or it didn't happen. You know what I mean? So basically, not only does he manipulate other people to get what he wants, but then he manipulates reality when people call him out on his manipulating, right? Oh, no, this happened like this and this, but it's not how it happened, right? By the way, hold on. There's a giant bug on my window. I got to flick away because I know what kind of bug that is. Get out of here. It's one of those, what do you call them? Those beetles that, they look kind of funky. They're a little like pointed. And if you kill them, all of a sudden, they let off this odor and all these other bugs show up. So I don't want to be in my window and accidentally getting in here. This happened a few years ago. There's a little hole in the bottom of my screen. And one of them got in here. I killed it. And then I had like 20 bugs on my window after. So I'm not dealing with that tonight. All right. Sorry for the interruption. Is it a stink bug? Is that what they're called? See, I didn't even know they were officially called stink bugs. Okay. All right. So let's continue. People are now voting on if they want to see me keep this hat on or not. All right. Let's continue. What the?
16, and I can attest, I swear, my kids. He said, I don't remember. I've made so much bullshit over the years. And this is what he said privately to me. I don't know when I said that.
Huh.
He's like, I keep seeing it. But at the time, he couldn't remember. And then I had a fan approach me. He told me that he was on with Basher, and they were fooling around. And that clip is really out of context. That's what I've been told. I've never seen the evidence for it. But when that clip was floating around during the grade A, under A, and Leafy situation, he told me, and it sounded legitimate, and it wasn't a private phone call, that he simply didn't remember saying that, and he doesn't even know what it was from. That's what he told me.
This happens quite a bit with Keem, being that he's been on the internet for so long that his day-to-day activities can be difficult to remember because they're so packed full of dramatic events. So it's very believable that he genuinely believes he was joking when he later watched the video and is relying on others' information to fill in the blanks. But relying on others is a very dangerous thing to do online, or worse, when running an online news channel, like what happened with Sir Tony Ray or the accusations against Power Cynical. It should be mentioned that prior to releasing this video, after losing 200,000 subscribers and scarce being promoted so much as Keemstar's competitor that he gained 1 million subscribers, it was enough. And for what seemed to be the first time, Keemstar left the internet.
Really?
In the meantime, he had another content creator covering for him while he went on a retreat with close friends
Oh, he's got
and
my
drink.
lamp.
So when he returned a little over a week later, he released that video, and for the most part the hate was dying down, or it was at least reduced to what it was prior to his retreat. This event almost fully got Keemstar off the internet, but on the other end, there were still many things keeping him on. Not just considering his passion for his news show, but also his podcast that went by the name Baited. Hosted mainly by Keemstar, Colossal is Crazy.
I've never heard of this ever. Baited? I've never heard of this show in my life. I didn't even know he ever made it. Huh. Well, you guys said keep the cap. We'll keep the Los Santos cap then. Sounds good. If you guys are wondering why I'm not saying that much, it's because this is all new information to me, and I really don't have much to add to it. It's just like data dump, which is fine. You know, it's good to learn. I can't comment unless I know what's going on. So, good data dump. I just wish there's not really much else to, to say. So let's continue. We're waiting for the next controversy. Here we go.
That greatly opposed Keemstar, and Tommy C, who was the moderator. While we won't delve too much into this podcast, I will recommend Turkey Tom's video covering it. The main takeaways is that it helped Keemstar make amends with many content creators like Leafy is here that now had the shared experience of being the subject of a content cop. So a lot of hate jumped from Keemstar to Leafy. But refocusing to Keemstar and his post-cancellation, Keem claims that when he returned, he embraced the bias in his reporting.
Well, I got another tip. Did I? Nope. The last one was from Jade. There is no other tip since Jade. I'm not sure what you mean. Unless you mean, wait, was there a... No. I was going to look on the... No, nothing on the YouTube side either. Are you confused, No Sleep Real Vibes? I'm aware that Jade tipped. I already shouted it out. Okay. And no, it was not Keemstar who tipped. Darn.
In the end, it is his channel, and it can be understandable that things that he hyperfixates on are also the things he wants to report on. And now that all this dirty laundry was meticulously picked at by the internet for a month, viewers and creators had a full grasp of Keem, which gave him a unique immunity and power, because he now had everything out there, meaning that any future controversy would be much less impactful as it'd be placed alongside his list of previous controversies. And because he had so many of them, as grievous as doxing, there was little that could be said that would tarnish his image more than it already was.
Okay, so I get it. So basically what happened was, all of a sudden in 2016, a bunch of people started turning against him. A lot of his closest friends kind of ganged up on him after that Content Cop video came out, and everyone, like public opinion, kind of turned against him. So he basically left the internet for about a week, came back, and after all the dust had settled and everyone had said anything about him that they had said, he basically had nothing else to say. He stated what his piece, he left, comes back, he's like, that's it, we're done, back to business, right? So I guess at this point, it's kind of like, this is the line in the sand. If you already know everything that I've done, and you think it's so egregiously heinous, then don't watch me anymore. But I'm going to continue on making content, and now it's up to you to judge if it's worth it to keep watching or not, knowing everything you know about me that all these other people have said, right? That's what it seems like. So it's an interesting perspective on a way to do it, rather than actually defending himself, which he did a little bit, but then he's like, well, forget it. It's indefensible. Like I said, the doxing shit and all that was indefensible. Now, here's the question, though. Right? All that stuff happens. He defends himself or whatever. He leaves. He comes back. Now the question is thus. Will he learn? Will he have learned from all that crap that happened? And will he change the way he behaves? Will he change his attitude as a person? Will he stop at the threats, the doxing, the toxic shit? Right? Or does he just go right back into his old ways? Let's find out.
Even viewers could appreciate that you can get a full grasp of Keemstar as opposed to the more clean-cut creators. And there is no doubt he brought more himself into Drama Alert. Regardless, YouTube was a dramatic mess all around in 2016. The viewers knew this, the content creators knew this, and it's been revealed that apparently YouTube knew about this too and were extremely worried about how it was negatively affecting the platform, and therefore the companies that advertised on it.
Right.
I got this information through an interview with Pescator, a seemingly controversial figure within the community that was the head of the Drama Alert news team from mid-2017 to 2019.
They had to call in a special little conference back then when it was Leafy and Keemstar were getting into it. That was real. They were almost excuse me, they were almost gonna delete their channels, or I think at least get rid of the YPP, the YouTube Partner Program. I think they were gonna get rid of their AdSense, but they didn't at the time. Later on, they did it to Leafy. But Keem knew, he was smart enough to know, I've got to change. I've got to change with this platform. So he did. And, that's just the way it goes.
It could have been this that prompted Keemstar to release his mission statement, asking for a friendlier environment. But no matter what Keem did, he could not reach the viewership that he had in the earlier months of 2016, as his views were dropping drastically through the end of the year, with his competitor Scares outperforming him every month.
Oh, wow.
Again, this is partly helped by him being boosted by other content creators as an alternative to Keemstar. By the start of 2017, though much of the drama around Keemstar had died down, it was very clear that his viewership was dying down along with it. So he had yet another problem in front of him. But instead of getting better, things just got worse. Worse than his competition with Scarce, and worse than having to rebuild his Drama Alert team. As many remember, 2017 was the year of the Adpocalypse.
Yep.
Because the drama that 2016 was remembered for, and the edgy humor that bled into the beginning months of 2017, was made all the more worse when traditional news networks covered PewDiePie, who was doing things that many consider to be highly controversial acts, at least on the surface level. This and other questionable actions across YouTube had many advertisers leaving in panic. The end result was content creators' videos getting demonetized en masse, as YouTube was experimenting with its new algorithm meant to promote and monetize family-friendly videos. And because they really needed to build the confidence of advertisers back up, they erred on the side of extreme caution. So many channels that lacked truly controversial content saw their paychecks being slashed. Keemstar himself saw only 10% of the revenue he would usually get. Where many creators quit, took breaks, or reformatted their content, Keemstar kept going, and actually for this time period, fully removed ads off his videos so that the smaller YouTubers could get the small amount of advertisements flowing through YouTube. But there was still a benefit in this for Keem, and that was other creators, mainly Scarce, were struggling too, to the point that Scarce stopped making videos for 2 months. Though Scarce says he left because of family issues, Keemstar says it was most likely the money. While it might seem reasonable that during your worst performing months, money-wise, would be opportune for a break, this was actually the absolute worst time that Scarce could have left. And
now hold on, because he's gonna get into this, but what I would like to do is, and finally I have something to add here, okay? The Adpocalypse. How bad really was it? Was it real? And how badly did it affect creators like them versus me, okay? So for those of you, there may be some people, if you can believe it, out there who don't know who I am. I can't imagine. But I'm someone who's been around for 14 years. And I'm one of the most prolific long-term YouTubers there's been. Meaning, I have over 100,000 videos on YouTube right now. As a result of me being back in the formative years of improv commentary on gaming. Quick reviews, stuff like that. And of course, I've definitely changed my model over the years. Now I'm a full-time streamer. Very different model now. But back in the day, I used to upload a ridiculous amount of videos, each one of them monetized. And each video would be like 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long. In a day of like gaming, I could play 8 to 10 hours and upload, no exaggeration, 50, 60 videos in one day. Okay, each one getting individual ads and everything on it. Now what happened is over time, YouTube changed. YouTube changed their algorithms to favor longer videos. Longer videos would get multiple ads while individual videos would only get one. Okay? So over time, I saw my profit dip. Essentially, when I started on YouTube, I was making a ton of money on ads. And then over time, it was gradually going down because all the ads were going to longer videos, while my ads were each video was getting one ad. To make a long story short, when the YouTube Adpocalypse hit in 2017, there was a series of things that happened with PewDiePie and others that basically advertisers said, we don't want our ads on YouTube anymore because YouTube does not know how to put our ads on appropriate content. When you've got content creators like PewDiePie and others out there putting Nazi shit in their videos, saying the N-word in their videos, and then you slap our ads on it, Starbucks, Walmart, that's not representative of the audience they're trying to appeal to. There was also ads going everywhere. Like, for example, if you were a tiny YouTuber and you still had AdSense, you would still get ads on your videos. And a whole video I talked about how I hate a certain race. You get ads on it. YouTube didn't really do anything about it. They didn't police it. So essentially what ended up happening was, in 2017, a bunch of these advertisers grouped together and walked out. It was Starbucks, Walmart, I forget the other, was the big three, because they were like the three biggest advertisers on YouTube. They just walked, okay? And then after that, many others followed suit. When you started seeing the Wall Street Journal and other major news outlets covering this story, a lot of other advertisers left too, okay? Now, overnight, no exaggeration, I saw my ad revenue go from what it was to 50%. And that was my living. I didn't have any streaming income or supplementary income. There was no crowdfunding. Besides, I did have a Patreon, but it was very small. It wasn't huge or anything like that. It was a small amount compared to what I was making on YouTube on a monthly basis, okay? But imagine that. Imagine you're going to work. Today you go to work, you're going to put in an 8-hour day. You do your same work, okay? You come home, and then you get your paycheck, and it's half of what it used to be. What the hell is this? I did the same work, same views, everything made the same. Yeah, but there's no ads. So you made half. That's what happened. And that was when I actually broke my partnership with Machinima, who I was partnered with. I was so angry with them, not getting me answers, not caring about the situation. I was like, I'm going to lose everything if you guys don't give me answers. And they treated me like a child, and I left. I wasn't part of them anymore. But here's the thing. When I tell you guys my revenue went down 50%, do you want to know why it was only 50%? Because I had, at that point, probably about 60,000, 70,000 videos on YouTube. At any given moment, one of my videos was being watched by someone, and I was making some ad revenue, okay? When you compare the style of video that these guys make versus what I did, it's dramatically different, and here's why, okay? Today, I do a playthrough of a hot new game. Today, it's going to be way more popular. It's going to get lots of views. But maybe 5 years later, someone wants to watch a playthrough of the game. They'll still watch it, right? Who the hell is going to watch a drama alert video from 2016 in 2022? Why do I care about the drama 6 years ago? I care about the drama today. I want new drama. So once these guys make their one video a day and they make their ad revenue, they're on to the next day to make the next video. That's where their money comes from. The new content hitting once a day. Me, I had an insane amount of residual views coming in from old videos, and all of them were monetized. So even though ad revenue went down by half, and it was terrible, and I just definitely had to change who I was. I had to become a streamer. For these guys, their ad revenue went down by 90% because no one watches their old shit. So who the hell is going to make money on any old videos from these guys? No one. They'll make nothing. They might as well, after a week of their content being out, they might as well delete it from the fucking internet because no one goes back to watch the old shit. That's the difference between my style of content and theirs. Mine is kind of universal. You're interested in seeing me play a game today, but you might be interested in seeing it in another 10 years. It's the same game. It's someone's perspective on that game. It's not, pertinent only to now because it's the drama from today, right? Who is going to say, I just discovered Keemstar. Let's start watching Drama Alert from 2014 and watch it day by day episodes all the way for the next 6-7 years. Who's going to do that? You just want to watch from today, right? That's it. So that was the problem with these guys. Their model was not ready for any kind of a shift in ad revenue. So all of a sudden you started hearing these horror stories of these YouTubers who had built actual businesses, empires. They had 20, 30 employees under them, and their business went out of business because the ad revenue removed from YouTube, they couldn't do anything. Now, this is why today you see so many YouTubers like June himself has a paid promotion in this video. I don't blame it. Ad revenue is so bad on YouTube today compared to how it used to be. I mean, just to give you some perspective, I had no tips, I had no super chats, no memberships, nothing. It was just ad revenue, and I was paying for everything. I was paying for my mortgage, my car, my move across this country. Everything was. I was rolling in dough when the ad revenue was sky high, and then YouTube essentially just kind of squandered it. They didn't know how to maintain that level, and it ruined the site for content creators in a lot of ways. So if 2016 was the golden year for these drama creators, 2017 was the end of the way of operating like that. And I think what ended up happening was, as you'll see, you might see Keemstar has 1 million sponsors now. And you know what I mean? Like, that's the only way they can maintain. Now, in the case of Keemstar, he's already rich. He's already sold the shitty Minecraft knockoff. He sold the hand floating game that knocks over things. Right. He's made money. He's diversified his money. Smart. He diversified his money. So even if Drama Alert fails and you can't make ad revenue, he can still keep doing it. And it's not a big deal. So, again, I will compliment him a third time. I think this is the third time now I'm complimenting him in this documentary. He did the smart thing. By diversifying himself and not having all his eggs in one basket, when the Adpocalypse hit, he could turn his ads off, not give a shit. Good on you. Good on you for having that ability. A lot of people did not. A lot of people, that was their living, that was their livelihood, that was their business, and they were going out of business. I have to lay off my whole workforce because I'm not making any ad revenue anymore. You know? It's fucking terrible. So anyway, that's the difference, because you've probably heard me over the years say, my revenue was halved overnight. It was, because I had 80,000 videos that were from a 10-year period bringing in views. These guys have only their new videos getting them views, so they're losing 90% of their revenue when the ads go away, while I still get, more consistency in the ad diversifying across all my content, you see? It was a little different. But anyway, that was one of the situations where I was lucky, because it could have been a lot worse for me if I was a content creator like them, putting out one video a day only pertinent to that day, as opposed to having kind of content that could be watched, kind of universally over time, you see? Okay. There you go. I'm going to go on a little tangent. Let's continue with the Adpocalypse and how it affected everyone. Here we go.
And that's because of the violent invasion of YouTube. With that platform shut down, many of those creators migrated to YouTube, and among those was Jake and Logan Paul. Drama machines that bounced off each other and captivated millions of children while simultaneously annoying millions of adults. Though the commentary community was still in a bit of a rut, they could all agree on their hatred for the Paul brothers, but not Keemstar. His first video covering Jake was on the Everyday Bro song that introduced Jake to the majority of YouTube. This video's performance was mediocre, but then he covered him again, and again, and again for about 7 videos in a row, only interrupted by the video saying that he won't be on Drama Alert for a few days. And for the first time in a year, Keem's channel was on a climb. Prior to Jake Paul, his videos were getting about 500,000 views. Post Jake Paul, he was getting 1 million to 3 million views per video, just in time for ads to stabilize a bit more, turn them back on, and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. As for how this affected the content itself, it's no secret that Jake Paul harbored a younger audience of children and young teenagers. Possibly in response to this, Keemstar was more animated and less vulgar, which went perfectly when adapting to Jake's younger audience. This also went hand in hand with being more family-friendly. Though Drama Alert was outperforming Scarce significantly view-wise when he came back in July, Scarce still had about 1 million more subscribers than him. But just 3 months later, with content packed with the Paul Brothers drama, Drama Alert passed Scarce. But let's look at the bigger picture. Let's take a look at the global news rankings on YouTube for this time. A capture for August 29, 2017 shows Drama Alert, according to Social Blade, outperforming CNN, Vox, MSNBC, CBS, Fox News, and BBC News. Also many other traditional and non-traditional news channels. There was no argument. Drama Alert was back, and it was back on top.
Yeah, but how? And again, how? How is Keemstar the most successful? He sold a Minecraft ripoff. He sold a game with a floating arm that knocks things over, and he advertised Logan and Jake Paul when Vine was shut down and they moved to YouTube. Like, these are his claim to fame. These are his most successful moments. Like, June the King is not making this up. I can make a list of things he's good at, and none of them are being a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. Let's continue.
Peaking at 61 billion views a month showed again that Keemstar's persistence had once again paid off. While many of these videos covering the drama around Jake Paul were just quick retelling of his videos, there was quite a bit of interviews and information gathered behind the scenes that allowed Drama Alert to get exclusive information and also get stories out faster than other channels.
But there was a time where it was nothing to get 10,000 new subs off a video just about Jake Paul being in his house and,
taking a dump.
What girls came by.
Picking his nose.
It was crazy, man. We had inside sources along that whole road. I actually had, I talked with the lady across the street from the house and courted her as an asset. And every day she would tell me exactly what's going on. And one morning she...
So literally, Keemstar went from, I am the guy who covers internet drama about content creators, celebrities, etc. And he became Teeny Bopper, right? Like, literally, Teeny Bopper. That's what it is. He's like Teen Popper magazine, where... it's just fluff garbage about fluff garbage people and fluff garbage content and fluff garbage shit. So he's not causing drama anymore. He's just a teen magazine now. And all he did is he didn't appeal to any audience that he already had. He appealed to a brand new audience of people who were moving over from Vine. Interesting. Really interesting. This is getting even more interesting the further in we get.
She called me up, she DM'd me and she said, how much would y'all pay me for a picture of all of Team 10 lined up on the wall with the cops? I said, we don't pay for stories. That's one thing we don't do. If you want to give it to us, we'll credit you, whatever. And she said, okay. She sent me that picture of all of Team 10 lined up against the wall with that guy Nick turned when they got swatted. It was one of the greatest pictures I'd ever seen as far as scandalous. And we put that as a thumbnail, and he did the whole story. He doesn't like doing swatting stories, but he did a story on that, and I remember that video went bonkers. It was like almost 3 million views.
You would think that one of these drama-oriented videos would have been Keemstar's most viewed video of 2017. No. That position belongs to the rehashing of his 2012 hit, Dollar in the Woods.
What?
Fitting the dramatization of the diss tracks floating around at the time, this video eventually got up to 11 million views. As silly as it was, it really helped encapsulate how Keem, in a year's time, went from being one of the most hated creators on the internet to still being a hated creator but also achieving a sort of meme status as his character was becoming more well known and accepted throughout the online community.
So basically what it is he made fun of himself, acknowledging that that song back then was so stupid, but he made a parody of like diss track videos that were all over the internet at the time. So he did something creative. He did something creative once. Wow. I'll give him credit again. That's the 4th time I'm giving him credit. He did something creative and different. Okay? Poking fun at yourself, but poking fun at others at the same time. Becoming popular okay. 11 million videos. 11 million views, excuse me.
As hated as he was, he still had more character, energy, and a talent to entertain that most content creators could hope to have. He was partly a reality star of YouTube, who gained even more respect from the community when in December of 2017, he interviewed a swatter whose phone call got someone killed.
I remember
at first, this sounds horrible, as Keemstar gave a platform to someone like that. But the truth was, Keem and his team had the intention of bringing this person on to get them to confess on the show.
And then get him arrested.
To Keem's surprise, it worked immediately.
So you swatted that address, correct?
Sure.
Okay,
right.
So you swatted the address, you put in the fake hostage situation, correct?
Yep.
And then this guy gets killed.
That's what happened, I guess.
But blindsided by this quick submission, Keem, as he claims, struggled to continue the interview, at least in an optimal state.
Quick update for those of you that might not know yet, the swatter has been arrested, and my main objective with the interview was to get him to verbally confess to what took place. Like, that was my only goal, and I had all these strategies and all these techniques that I would pull the truth out of him. But as you saw in the interview, he verbally confessed to it, like, right off the bat, and then I was just lost. I got so much praise all around the world saying that I did a good job on the interview, but quite frankly, I did a really bad job. As soon as he gave me the confession, like, I didn't know where to go from there. I asked him about, do you have parents? He said he doesn't have parents. Like, there should have been a follow-up question, like, what do you mean? And then the guy just kept throwing me off by not being remorseful at all or sorry for what took place. I was just, like, at a loss for words. Like, my brain...
But the following day, Keemstar brought the welcome news that the swatter was arrested, ending the episode by promoting a GoFundMe for the family that fell victim to the swatting.
That interview. Now, I want to let my audience know that there is a GoFundMe to help pay for funeral expenses for the family of the victim. That link is the top link in the description of this video.
Even if there was a bit of opposition against Keemstar for monetizing that interview and bringing a swatter on a platform, the majority of viewers appreciated the intention and action of helping get a swatter behind bars, as this is regarded as one of the best things Drama Alert has ever done, ending a strong year with a strong action. Moving on to 2018, while it still did well viewership-wise, no individual month came close to surpassing Drama Alert's peak month the year prior. But if it wasn't obvious then, it was by May 2018 that Keemstar had several revenue streams, and as he expanded them, Drama Alert was an ever-decreasing stream compared to the money he was receiving from his other ventures, namely Friday Fortnite. What many accepted to be the first competitive Fortnite competition that was to happen weekly, with the prize pool increasing with each weekly airing. Though the specifics of the rules of the tournament are not of extreme importance to this video, the controversies and success of it are. As for how this happened, Keem has always delved into competitive gaming and gaming teams. Some projects were more successful than others, but Friday Fortnite was his biggest success thus far in that field. It may have been even influenced by his newly adapted audience of children and teenagers that tuned in for his continued coverage of the Paw Brothers.
Exactly.
Regardless, the problems with the tournament came with Keem's operation of it. One that is objectively not fair, but operates for the sake of entertainment and not to see who was the top Fortnite player. As contention began building when Keemstar stated that these events were made for just that, entertainment, He was not seeking the best Fortnite players, but rather the most entertaining ones, and the ones that he mostly had a good repertoire with. His Twitter post explaining this did not please the many that were good at the game, but lacked the size to compete, creating a rich get richer controversy until Fortnite started hosting their own competitive events. Still following the format of rhyming a weekday with a game came other successful competitions that pitted popular YouTubers and streamers alike, like Minecraft Mondays, that was officially established in 2019. This, like its many predecessors, pulled in millions of unique viewers across several streams, and also towards the sponsorships of the events like G Fuel.
So this is, again, you know, I don't like doing this, but I have to give him credit again. He basically realized, right, that what he was doing was still popular, but look what he had to do. When the Adpocalypse happened, he changes. Yes, he was still doing drama, but he becomes a Paul Brothers coverage guy for a bunch of teenagers and kids. Then, oh, look what's the hottest thing out there right now. Fortnite. Let's start doing Fortnite sponsored tournaments. It's like, wait a minute, dude. You're the dude who literally every day was doing drama content about pedophiles and this shit. Now you're doing game tournaments for children? Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's a huge shift. But, number one, you got to understand a few quick things here. Hello, Easy Peasy. Welcome. Thank you. Nice words. I'm glad to see you having a good day today. Number one, Keemstar's rich from various different sources. He can do whatever he wants, right? Unlike a lot of other people who don't have that flexibility, right? He can do it literally, I don't care. If he tries a venture, if he did Fortnite Fridays and it failed after 3 attempts or something, what does he care? Oh, I blew a little bit of money on it or whatever. Back to the grind, back to doing the things that do work, till he comes up with his next idea, right? When you have money, you can do that. Life is a lot less restrictive, and really there's no risk when you have money. You know what I'm saying? When you are normal, like you and I, you know, or most of you, because I'm assuming that most of you are not filthy rich like this guy. Everything is a risk. Everything is a chance. Everything is a shot in the dark. Everything can be very concerning, right? Like for me, changing from being an on-demand content creator to a full-time streamer in 2017 when the Adpocalypse happened was a very huge jump and gamble for me. That could have literally been the absolute positive end of me as a content creator. I wouldn't have been shocked if I did fail and disappear at that point. It was tough for me to adapt from just sitting here and playing as if no one's watching and just doing commentary to, wow, I have a live audience of people talking to me right now in a chat. I have to read, I have to acknowledge, I have to shout out, I have to do this, I have to have conversation. You know what I'm saying? So basically what we're going through is here's Keem's biggest successes, and good on him for having this ingenuity to change himself of who he was, but it's all based on the fact that he was already rich from stupid shit, like selling a fucking Minecraft knockoff, right? And other dumb shit. Like, it all spawned from silliness. And that silliness that never should have been successful allowed him to have the freedom and success in life to do all these amazing things. Let me tell you something. This man likely has never, in the last 10 years, went to sleep worried about money. You know what I mean? Ever since that Minecraft game sold or whatever, that was it. He never had to worry about where's the next paycheck coming from or whatever. You know, he got out of that, and that's it. Now, it's the opposite life, right? But the thing is, do you think he really realizes how lucky he is? I don't know. Like he's so lucky to be in that life, because it could have definitely went another way. Went horribly for him, you know? Seems like a lot of things aligned. The stars aligned. The planets rotated just the perfect way for him to have his successes like he's had. The Adpocalypse happens, but he's rich. So he decides to refocus on the Paul brothers, and it works. Like, what? Who'd have thought? You could say, you know what I'm saying? Wow. But it works. So now I have money, so we jump on the gaming viral trends. Oh, everyone's playing Fortnite. I'll do Fortnite Fridays. Oh, it works. It blows up. He makes tons of money. All right. You know, and by the way, yes, obviously you can tell. I'm not going to lie. I'm jealous. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be jealous? If I had had that level of success, if I hadn't had the harassment and fall off of attention and the insane amount of toxicity thrown towards me that I've had in the last decade, you know, I very well could have been like this, where I had flexibility in my life to do whatever I wanted. I don't have that. You know what I mean? I just don't. People are like, oh, you have the great cushy job. It's like, yeah, but I barely make ends meet half the time. So it's not really cushy. It's more, I'm happy I get to do what I love, but I don't have a night where like, I'm not, well, I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow, right? With him, he doesn't give two fucks, right? Why would he care? It's pretty crazy. It's a different perspective on life for sure. But again, I'll give him credit. He's looking at trends. He's jumping on trends. He's capitalizing on the trends. Why can he do that? Because there's no risk. There's only possible reward. He's already rich, so who cares if it fails? Just go back and do something else. People like me can't do that. People like you can't do that. You can't just drop everything you're doing at a whim and do something different with your life. You got to pay your bills, right? We're all in the same boat here, but he's not. It's pretty crazy. Okay, let's continue.
Arguably the largest and most memorable sponsor of Keemstar that could be found through a multitude of Keem's projects. But in reality, this is not the actual timeline. A timeline where Keemstar's biggest controversy between 2018 and 2019 was that the selection of creators who starred in his video game competition was biased was not the biggest controversy of this time. There are two major controversies that happened between them, one significantly lesser known than the other. So we'll cover the lesser known one first, and to do that we'll have to talk about the person at the center of it, Just Destiny, known now as Mori. While we won't delve too much into this situation, I will recommend Nicholas Diorio's video where he gives a detailed rundown on what happened. For the sake of brevity, we'll give a quick rundown. Back in February of 2019, Just Destiny was, and still practically is, known as a Leafy clone. But unlike Leafy, he's just focused on daytime television like many other channels around him. Through this, Just Destiny was able to get 1.7 million subscribers.
Wow!
So in the YouTube creator community, he was cemented as one of those many channels filling in the hole Leafy left. But he began to get much unwanted attention when his thumbnails came into question, usually clickbaiting kids and teenagers that starred in these television programs. While those questioning his choice of thumbnails were relatively small, they grew ever in size when he abused YouTube's copyright system to strike down a channel, calling him a predator. Not only was this blatant abuse of the copyright system, Lieutenant Cobra, the channel struck, followed fair use to a T. Lieutenant Cobra was also a very, very small channel that was hosted by a 15-year-old. There are many aspects about this entire situation that made Lieutenant Cobra's video extremely unbelievable, and would have been relatively unknown if Just Destiny let it be. He even went as far as to send over a cease and desist. Many creators already having issues with Just Destiny's personality had even more of a reason to hate him, as sending illegitimate takedown requests are among one of the worst things a creator can do to another creator in the online realm. So an already established group of smaller creators took it upon themselves to combat this and spread the words of his abuse. This was a group that also opposed Keemstar, which was practically the entire purpose of the group, which was to grow without Keemstar's influence. But their hatred of Just Destiny was greater than their hatred for Keem, so they let him in with a pretense that he would help take down this copyright abuser. And things went really well at first, as Keem invited Just Destiny on a show where he was able to easily counter Just Destiny's points and made it clear that he made a massive mistake by targeting the smaller channel that, though he was slandering him, chose the wrong route to silence him. But there was a bit of a slip-up on Keem's part when he asked,
seems really weird to me. It's like, from the outside looking in, like, it makes me have to ask this question, like, do you touch kids?
Oh my god, really?
But do you? Do you touch kids?
Keem, stop asking ridiculous questions.
Usually when Keemstar paints someone as a predator, he does so on Twitter and does it a bit more passively. But him asking the question outright and so sudden made his tactic where he slanders other parties by spreading rumors a bit too obvious. Maybe it was this that reminded the audience of what kind of person Keemstar could be, or the general disapproval of the interview caused Keem to lose 3,000 subscribers. While Keem and other creators were able to get Just Destiny to remove the strike and walk back his actions, this wasn't enough for Keem as he lost, even in the smallest way possible. So like he does with other situations, he snowballed this into something regrettable. But not yet for Keem, as Keem's tactics of painting Just Destiny as a predator worked to an extent, and was able to enlist the help of this group of content creators to be able to gather his personal information for the sake of exposing his potential predatory past.
Oh my
that
God.
was the narrative. Though things started to change.
There's a reason why I asked him that. Nobody knows who JD is, Just Destiny. For all we know, he could be a registered sex offender. How would you know? He filed false legal documents to shut down a video of a 15-year-old kid poking fun at him, calling him a pedo. Why? Why would he do that? Does he touch kids? Huh.
When Keem began doing things in the group that they would see as questionable, and that is leaking information.
What's his Skype name?
I'm gonna send it to you right now. I don't want to really share his Skype name publicly with anyone. I don't want that getting out, but I mean,
Yeah, I know.
I'll send it to you.
As Keem had information.
Okay, so what I'd like to do here, because we're in the middle of this, but I realize we've been recording for another hour. I think what I want to do is split here, and probably the next part, I can't imagine it's going to be not the last. As you can see, there's only about 20 minutes left in the video. But what's crazy about this is there's 20 minutes left, and there's things in this that haven't been discussed that are huge, that I'm wondering why they were left out. Maybe there wasn't enough concrete information one way or the other. I'm not sure. I don't see how we're going to cover all this in like 15, 20 minutes, the stuff that's coming up. Anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. Looks like we're going to conclude in the next part. All right. So thank you. And, you know, if you're watching this on demand on YouTube, thanks for your continued viewership as well. Remember to like the videos if you like them. Remember to leave comments. Let me know what you think. We'll go from there. We'll wrap this up. Coming right up. Thank you.